All right, so we're here with Crimson Wings, Pretty and Kilk, both the owners of Crimson Wings. So Crimson is one of those teams that's emerging into the RLCS scene with a highly skilled team. Currently on their roster, Skills and Prime Thunder, both highly efficient, talented players. Their Discord sitting a little over 1,000 members, 1,500 plus followers on Twitter, big and supporting community, very positive attitudes. Pretty and Kilk, I'll give you guys a chance to introduce yourself and say hi.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
We'll probably.
Hi, I'm Pretty. I manage the team. I'm co-owner for the entire org. Love what I do.
Well, I'm Kilk. Founded this beast with Pretty over here. I run most of the back end stuff. He's more of the face.
What was the idea behind Crimson Wings? When did you start, and why did you start it?
Yeah, so essentially we were kind of part of another org. Kilk, I believe you were a team manager for 16-bit esports for the League of Legends side. And we actually had an org contact us to start hosting tournaments for them and broadcasting them and stuff.
Those guys.
Yeah, I don't even remember their name.
So, yeah, it was the Golden Ghouls.
That's
they
right.
actually ended up picking up a European team for a little bit.
They did.
And they contacted me, asking me, because they knew me from the League of Legends side. I was the general manager at 16-bit, who is a good friend of ours, runs that organization. And they asked me to run their Rocket League events. And at the time, I didn't know anything about Rocket League. I mean, I kind of did, right? I knew what it was, but I'd never played the game or done anything. But I knew that Pretty had. So I contacted him, and I asked him if he would like to help me in this endeavor. And we kind of went along with it. But at one point, we realized that that organization was not of the most reputable standards.
Well, it wasn't just that. Like we came in, we didn't like what they were showing us, right? They kind of came in with contracts and like and like we just didn't like them. And so at the end of the day, I'm not gonna throw them under the bus like Coco's right now, but
I will.
At the end of the day, we did not reach terms, and Kilk and I looked at each other and we said, let's make our own org running tournaments. And so we did. And so in March of 2019, or maybe it was like a end of February 2019 thing. Like we founded it in January 2019. And then at the end of February, beginning of March, we started running weekly tournaments of, like 30, 50, 60 bucks. Just to, at the end of the day, there was like two objectives to that, right? It was number one, grow our brand. Number two, help out the community. And so for me,
number three, try not to host events that last till 2 a.m.
We learned that. Yes.
Because we did that.
Yeah,
we did that.
Like 6
players,
and a half hours.
Players love that, I think.
Bucks.
No, they don't. It's still like a meme about us.
Yeah.
Because that event lasted literally till like 2 a.m.
I think that's one of the things you guys addressed to me too when we did invite you to the first tournament. You guys said, this isn't going to go late, is it? I said, no, only like 3, 4 a.m. Just
so I was
sad boy.
No, yeah, normally.
So the reason I asked that of you originally was because when we were a fledgling tournament organizer, we were getting ready to run one of our invitationals, and I had contacted Lawler about maybe being a part of it. And at the time, he was an RLCS caster.
Right.
And he wasn't available to do it, but he did give me some pointers on how to make community events run smoother, which was really nice. And one of the things that he broached to me was you generally don't want a community tournament to go over 4 hours.
True.
So that's kind of, after we had our little test where we were running events where everything was double elimination, like best of 5, and it was ridiculous. We cut it all down. And, after that, we started making, 4 4.5 hour tournaments, and they ran really smoothly. It was nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and other tournament organizers, I don't want to say copied our format, but they kind of followed in our footsteps a little bit. A really good example is Alpine Esports. Karan over there, great guy, personal friend. Me, them, we're both Minnesota-based orgs. We ran a LAN together actually in
Minnesota.
2019. Yeah.
Oh, Minnesota, don't you?
They had
But
to
yeah,
do it.
we started running Minnesota. Yeah, we started running tournaments in the way of like best of threes in the upper bracket, and then best of ones in the lower bracket, and then make grand finals, best of fives. If I could go back and do it again, with how popular game advantages are, I think I would have made it best of 5 or best of 7 grand finals with a game advantage, and I think that would have made people a lot happier. But yeah, I mean, there's that. That's how we started. We did that for a long time. Through the Avidity Invitational, through our own Invitational, and then
Don't forget the RSC versus RLPC.
That's right. Yeah, we put together 2 communities and had a big tournament, and then RSC had. They both gave their 4 best teams, right? And then only the RSC, the top 4 teams for the top 4 RSC teams, which was.
Well, I think it was there was 3 RSC teams and there was like 1 RLPC team, but it was really good. Both of those communities at the time were struggling a little bit with, their players like looking down on the other league and stuff like that, and
yeah,
it was a good way to bring them both together.
Yeah, it really helped
from
RSC
that-
continue to look down on RLPC.
Well,
Kind of a reality check for somebody, and then just a continued sense of cockiness to the other.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but in reality, it ended up both of their leagues started, garnering players back and forth. And I was reading through some of those chats when we first announced it, and we had the links to their Discords and things like that. And the guys were going into the other Discord, kind of talking a little crap here and there. But then afterwards, they were like, "But in all seriousness, where do I sign up?" Like, it worked out really well. I think both of those organizations benefited from it, and the showdown, as it called it, was something that I would have really liked to continue doing at the time. In the future, we just haven't continued to do it, mainly because of the WCBC and everything.
Well,
In
that's
terms of-
a great segue, though.
Yeah. True.
Your next, your one of my favorite projects that you guys do. I mean, aside from your team, Jordan and I are pretty big fanboys of the Crimson Wings for obvious reasons. But the Women's Carball Championship, tell us about that. And I think that just having that as a forum and a place for women to come play and showcase their skills and actually be in the competitive gaming scene exclusively for women, I think that's a really big statement for esports, especially with everything that's been happening over the last decade in terms of just being progressive and forward. I think that's really cool of you guys to do and really important to the community. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and let me give a little bit of background to it, right? So, our first competitive team, we got Astro without the H, Oath, and Pale Rider in the U90 League, or not U90, what was that? Elevate League. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I got really into wanting to get a competitive female team. And we got Avenger, Queen Bee, and Courtney, I believe.
Queen Bee's really
Well, Courtney ended up not joining us.
Right.
Because she had RLCS. She had
Yes.
another RLCS
Yes.
team.
Yeah, with
that
Wild,
she was also with.
Wild Cherry, and
Yeah, I think-
and Dark, was it? I'm not sure. Anyway, regardless, so we had a vision to make a competitive female team and have them go all the way. Because my vision, I'm like, I want more women in esports. Like,
Right.
I just want
Yeah.
it's important to me to equality.
They
yes.
they deserve
Anyway.
a spot.
Yes, they
because
do. They
there's-
do.
There's plenty of
Um,
female players that are good enough, and the ones that don't get a chance are because they get run out of the communities.
Yeah.
Oh,
but-
some of these women are top 100 in their regions. And
Absolutely.
stuff like that.
Yep.
So The WCBC was actually a brainchild of Avenger.
Yeah.
She hit me up one night and she was like, "Hey, do you have time to brainstorm some ideas?" And this was actually like November 11th of 2019, I think.
That's very
something like that. And we were sitting there just kind of throwing ideas around because she had told me about the previous event that had been run by Drama Alert. And she was going to try to find a way that she could improve basically on that concept. And, we were just throwing ideas around. And eventually, we were like, why don't we just make a league? And, we broached the subject with, like Queen Bee and Tipsy at the time. And we just kind of ran with it, right? And I will be honest with you, it was a lot more in depth than I had originally expected it to be. And we had originally only planned for it to be a North American event. Like, we were going to take the top women in North America and have this league for them. But then the women over in Europe started hearing about this idea, and the support from them just kind of flooded in. And suddenly we were in a weird spot because we'd planned NA, and now we have all these EU women wanting to play. So we ended up doing a mixed league for the first 2 seasons.
That's tough on the ping.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
It was, well, yeah.
For scheduling too.
Did you alternate between EU and East servers, or always East?
So the way that it worked was US East was the primary server in Season 1. A lot of the women over in Europe do get good ping on US East. In Season 2, we tried to do a home team and away team thing, and each team got 2 games, or each team had to play like 2 series away on their off server. And that had its own issues. But for Season 3, we're going to be splitting the regions, so we won't have to deal with any of those issues any longer.
Yeah,
correct.
And we're in pretty good contact with Freya too. She's one of the big people in the WCBC too, right?
Correct.
Yeah. She's actually our marketing director here at Crimson Wings.
Yeah.
And
our graphics person.
I know. I remember when I recommended her to you.
Yeah.
She does fantastic work. I recommend Freya to a lot of people.
Yeah, everything you guys see in this stream and podcast and stuff was done by hers. So, hats off to Freya and her work. Her stuff is linked below in our Twitch panels if you want to check her out. She's very punctual and very very detailed.
I will say that outside of myself and Pretty here, Freya has probably been one of the most important people in the growth of our brand and the WCBC.
If not the most.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, not to put anybody else out there, but she goes above and beyond. And it's just her mentality. It's phenomenal. And we are so lucky to have her. So proud. And I can't wait to see what else comes out, because she just keeps on trucking.
Yeah, she does incredible work. Just absolutely incredible. And, she's also, like, we have other artists and stuff, too. People like, what's she called? Gildan Giraffe now? She was Giraffe Girl. And I don't know if you guys saw the Season 3 or the Season 2 epilogue that we posted to YouTube for the WCBC.
I've seen it.
That was done by Azzy. And Azzy did fantastic work on that. And that was a project she took on all by herself. Like, we never went to her and asked. She was like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then she just showed up with it one day, and it was incredible. But we've got, WCBC has gotten an insane amount of support from the women in the community. Athena's hosted us before. We have some of the, biggest and best players in Women's Rocket League in this, and overall it's been an incredible journey.
Definitely a league full of tremendous ambassadors just from the women front of esports. So I think, yeah, I think what you guys are doing with the Women's Cardball Championship is incredible. Just like they said, their next season is coming up soon. We will have the Twitch for Women's Cardball Championship linked below. Because again, Frey and that team, they do all the graphics for that and all the production for that, and it looks absolutely incredible. You can compare that to like an RLCS, CRL stream. It's very well put together, very well thought out. And plus the gameplay is just epic. So, I mean, definitely have to check those guys out. And make sure you show them support because it just can't amount to enough these days. From a community perspective, I think the biggest thing that Crimson Wings is known for is their Rocket League team. Obviously, making the RLCS split all 3 times. You guys are really close to bursting onto the RLCS team as a major team, looking for some major victories. And I think that you guys have the skills and management to get there. Can you guys tell us what's in store for them or anything new that's been happening?
Yeah, what was it?
They said literally the skills.
Literally the
they
skills.
They have the skills.
We have
the prime skills.
Prime skills.
Prime Thunder and skills together are absolutely unstoppable. That can be shown by the fact that I have an SSL tournament title, with their help. So
Pretty's definitely not C1. He's a SSL, by the way.
Diamond 3 right now, but let's not get into specifics. That said, no, we've been trying out a number of thirds right now for a replacement of Demo. Demo and us mutually split ways. We wish him all the success. Honestly, huge fan of Demo. I'm really excited to see where he goes, and there's no doubt that he's going to end up on some super solid squad that's going to be posing a huge challenge. We're going to be scrimming them all the time. I'm very excited to see where he ends up. That said, we're currently looking for, I guess, a better fit, not necessarily a better third, but somebody who really fits with the squad more. And right now, everybody that we've been scrimming with, every single player, we've just been dominating these scrims, and it's
dominating. Please tell us. Let us know who you've been dominating.
No, but
he said. So it's making it hard to choose then.
It's honestly, it's great. Like, we've tried out 6 people, and we're down to 2 or 3 right now in terms of who we want, but it's been a really tough road. I literally went through with skills and Prime yesterday. We went through a spreadsheet and said, okay, who has the best feel? Who has the best comms? Who do you think we have the most potential with? And right now, it's just so close with the top people, and even the lowest ones. They're not low. It was, yeah. I mean, any one of these guys will make top 16 with all 3 times. There's no doubt. Mm-hmm. Like, the mentality's there, the feel is there, everything's there, and it's been great. I'm very excited to unveil who we're going to be with when that happens, and I know that honestly, the 2 people that we are looking at right now, we have no doubt that we will be at Worlds if we stick together for the next 2 splits.
So I've noticed lately that you've brought on quite a few people into your content creation department.
Yeah, our content creator side has been a kind of a pet project of mine for a little while. We originally tried to do a little bit of content creation stuff back earlier in our beginnings, and like Swave joined us back then, and like Sparky and Cold Girl, and but when the WCBC started up, I was taking on too much of the workload for the WCBC myself, and then my creator team kind of went to the wayside, and some of them left. Like Tipsy was with us as well, and she moved on to bigger and better things. Still an incredible. Yeah, Queen did some. Avenger as well.
Queen Bee did a lot for our org actually while she was here. Big shout out to her for what she did for our org.
I got a better handle on the WCBC. I got things more organized. It was kind of a production mess for a long time because we're very new to that idea, and I decided that the next stage of the evolution of Crimson Wings would be a content creation team that's a legitimate team. Through all that, Sparky, Swave, and Cold Girl all stayed with us. Thank you to them, because I know that we didn't give them a lot of attention, and they had every chance to just kind of move on, and they didn't. They stuck with us for a long time.
Yeah.
And to that, we also brought on, we have French 1000 Island, who is now, he's actually taken over as our content director for the team recently. He does incredible things. The ideas that this man has is just top notch. We also brought on Vix from the WCBC over in the EU side. She is probably one of the most fun people. Just look, if you look at her Twitter, it's always fun. She's got a credible taste for memes and all kinds of things. We also brought on Disgruntled Vet. We also brought on Jake from State Farm.
What color? What is he
khaki?
wearing?
I would a red shirt and khakis, dude.
Right. His Valorant content was popping off on YouTube. He was some of his stuff, I believe, had like 100,000 views and things like that.
Oh wow!
We got Cold Girl, Sparky, and Swave stayed with us. So I think we have 7 creators in total now, if I remember correctly, and we have a decent little support team with Techo and Freya supporting them as well. So far it's been doing great. They're going to start putting out some really fun content here soon. And it's been working out well for us. I'll say that, for the growth of our organization, because all the people we brought on are just exceptionally fun people. They love their content, and just get them into Among Us, and you'll see some exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where can you find their content?
Well, Jake's primary content is on YouTube, but he also streams all of his stuff. Every one of them is a streamer. You can find all of them on Twitch. And Twitter, obviously. Well, on the horizon is season 3 for the WCBC. Hopefully we got some big announcements coming up for that here in the next 2 weeks. I'm just waiting on a few things to finish tidying up there. I know, I believe we've talked a few times about maybe picking up some, fighting game players or, StarCraft 2 players and things like that, just to kind of expand our influence into other games.
Yeah, honestly, the fighting games players, I think we were going to hop into that pretty hard, but with COVID, it's so tough because there's just not much there. There's no lands and stuff, and so it's hard to get into that, but we really want to jump into the fighting game scene, whether it be Smash, Street Fighter, just kind of the top
Smash
games
would be
right
fun.
there.
That would be big.
We are looking to expand, and we're very excited to get into more stuff and just honestly expand the brand and see more success.
If I had the means to offer IDOM and Street Fighter a contract right now, dude, I would do it. That guy's one of my favorite Street Fighter players of all time. I love it. It's fantastic.
All right,
I'll have to
guys.
check them out.
Pretty Kilk, the guys from Crimson Wings. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for your time. That's going to do it for us here. We're going to go back to On the Radar.